The new Nothing Phone 1 is the latest and most hyped phone yet, and boy has it got my attention. It's a smartphone that's designed to make phones cool or exciting again, and the Nothing Phone 1 confirms two things about the Nothing brand. They're good at making good looking things like design, we're seeing that with the Nothing Earbuds 1, and user experience. Yes, it looks like an iPhone, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. As far as design goes, it has all the usual things like a power button on the right side, volume rockers on the left side, a microphone up top, a USB-C port on the bottom alongside a speaker grill and SIM card tray, and no micro SD card slot here, or a 3.5mm headphone jack. A Corning Gorilla Glass front and a 16 megapixel Sony IMX471 selfie sensor are on the front. The display itself is a 6.55 inch flexible OLED display with HDR10 Plus support and 1200 nits peak brightness. As far as brightness goes, it looks okay. When using it in bright sunlight outside, it can sometimes suffer because it's not that bright in outdoor situations. That's absolutely fine though. On the back is where the hype is. It's where we're seeing something new on the smartphone, something that could give the Nothing Phone 1 a cool factor and make it stand out on the shelves. Firstly, there's a dual camera setup, a 50 megapixel main Sony IMX760 sensor at f1.88 and a 50 megapixel ultra wide angle Samsung JN1 sensor at f2.2. But the camera isn't what makes it cool here. It's a glyph light on the back that's made up of small LED lights that are connected to the phone's software so they can do things like react to ringtones and can interact with your settings like charging indicator and so on. We went through the settings to see what it can do, and there's not much going on here as much as this is a main element of what the smartphone is about. More about that later on. At first use, I quite like it. It serves the purpose of making it cool, making it fun, and also serving some functionality like using it as a floodlight when shooting videos. It's like having a ring light pointing at you. Here's the thing. I get Nothing wants to keep the clean aesthetics, but it doesn't change colors, so it's not RGB. And to be fair, it's not a gaming device, so why put RGB? It's quite restrictive in the sense that you can't change the notification lights to indicate what you're getting. So if there's a message, there's nothing to let me know that it's a message versus a phone call and so on. But then again, minimalism. So that it doesn't wake you up at night time, it can also be placed in night mode, and you can also adjust the brightness so it's not too bright in your face. The only qualms I have with it is that it's on the back, the parts we rarely look at, and it doesn't do anything besides the light up and the see-through design and the screws that's exposed. So will it be enough to sway buyers? It starts at £399, so mid-range with mid-range specs. Talking of specs, it has a 6nm Qualcomm Snapdragon 778G Plus, so one A78 2.5 GHz, three A78 2.4 GHz, and four A55 1.8 GHz cores, with Adreno 642L GPU and Hexagon 770 AI processor. It comes in an 8 or 12 GB LPDDR5 RAM flavors, and for storage you can have either 128 or 256 GB of UFS 3.1. This translates to a surprisingly smooth device. Yes, you can play Call of Duty and you can go from 60Hz to 120Hz refresh rate and a 240Hz touch sampling rate. So using it day to day, the screen is really smooth. I really like it. It's running on Android 12, which is skinned with Nothing OS, with its own theme like wallpaper, icons, widgets and fonts, and it's so smooth. There's no bloatware on there as well. Generally feels very clean. The whole device just feels like Apple and Google came together, collaborated and made a smartphone. It's not all sweet though, however. Yes, the Nothing Phone 1 nails it when it comes to the design and user experience. Where it lacks, though, is when it comes to photography for me, and videography actually. Maybe they'll refine this in terms of software as time goes by, but pictures are only as good as sharing them on social media for myself. You can zoom in and you can start to see how bad they actually are when you start to zoom into details. The ultra wide angle lens is the one that's more of a culprit here as well. It's worse than the main one when it comes to detail and consistency. You do get things like pro mode and night shots and slow-mo, etc. All the usual stuff that you get. Notice that the user interface, some elements on there actually looks like the iOS camera interface. Video stabilization is there, but and you can shoot at 4K videos. Fucking hell. Video stabilization is there, and you can shoot 4K videos at 30 frames per second, for example, but the stabilization, so the OIS and EIS, are doing overtime when you put it on. So you start to see things move too slowly, it tries to catch up with your movement, and it's just not the best user experience there. Elsewhere, you do get IP53 rating, at least we get some level of cover. You have 4,500 mAh battery and fast charge up to 33 watts wired and 15 watts wirelessly. You can even charge your Nothing earbuds, for example, using that 5 watt reverse wireless charging. And I love that they've shaped it a way that you can place it right on top of that elements, the lighting element on the back. Overall though, I think if a new brand wants to break into this market right now that's already oversaturated, they have to catch your attention. They have to find new ways of catching your attention that isn't sponsoring your favorite TV show or sports team. They have to create a hype in a different way that is in a form of TikTok algorithm, in the sense that they use their community to keep talking about this product, and you share it, talk about it to someone else, and organically everyone talks about it. And I'm excited for them. I'm excited to see what's next and what they're going to do with the ecosystem, and if we're going to see a more powerful device. And it'll be interesting to see what they do with the pricing as well as time goes by and things get more sophisticated. Over to you though. Let me know what you think in the comments below.